Welcome everybody, welcome back to Homestead Heart. Y'all, it's late in the evening, but I'm still in the kitchen working. And as you can see, I got my canning apron on. So you know what that means. This canning session is about to go down. Right? Now, first and foremost, before I get into what I'm canning, I recently picked up my order from Azure Standard, and I had an opportunity to meet several beautiful people who watch our channel. And I do want to say it was so nice to meet each and every one of you. But you all, at that drop, I also picked up my bean cherries that I ordered from Azure, okay? Now, I've been pitting cherries for I don't know how long. I've been doing a lot of cherry pitting today, okay? And look, you don't realize how bad you need a cherry pitter in your life until you have to do a whole lot by hand. It's one thing to do a pound or so by hand, but when you doing 10 to 12 pounds, that get old real quick, okay? So I already know what I need in my life. So you know what I'm about to do next, right? Okay? All right. So now I've already started pitting all of at least some of my cherries. Why is this look? Oh, I did it by hand, so when you get to the end and you get a little frustrated, you don't care what they look like. Okay, that's what happened right here. But for the most part, they all look pretty good. When you get tired, you be like, look, let me just get these pits out. I don't care what this cherry look like. But y'all, gonna bring y'all close. I'm gonna show y'all what it looks like when I am pitting these cherries, okay? And I used a straw, and I don't even have the best straws. So just imagine if this was a stronger straw, maybe I wouldn't have been so impatient toward the end. But But in any case, y'all, the stems have already been removed from these cherries, and that's the stem end and that's the underside, right? And so literally I just poke a hole with the straw in the underside like so, okay? And then I put my straw where the stem end is, and then I push up. And when I push up, oh, you couldn't even see, out comes the pit, all right? And I drop the pits in a bowl. And then I put my cherries in the other bowl. So you can see it coming out right here. There it is, all right? And then I just pop it out. See that, like so? And it's messy, all right? So that's why I have on gloves. I had 2 gloves on because my hands, right? So I have one left here that I'm gonna do. And I only did it because I wanted to show you all this whole process and how long that took, right? And then I'm just gonna push out. Ooh, don't make a mess. I'm about to. And there goes the pit, okay? And I just drop it into this bowl and put my cherries there. Put my straw. Ugh, I don't know where I'm gonna put the straw. I put it over here. All right. And I got a bowl full of pits right here. I've been pitting a lot of cherries, okay? All right, you all. So now, let me rinse my glove off. I've been using the same gloves. The only thing I've been doing is that when they get extra messy, I just go over to the sink and rinse them off. That's all. So I can keep using them. These just some little disposable gloves. I wasn't gonna keep changing my gloves, right? Nope. All right. So now you all, what we have here, I have about 6.5 pounds of pitted cherries. Let me move these pits out the way. All right, I have 6.5 pounds of pitted cherries. I have a cup of sugar. All right. This is that Marina sugar that I always use. I have 4 cups of water. I have 1 cinnamon stick, 3 cloves, 3 whole cloves, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, and I'm going to use 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. This is my homemade vanilla extract. If you haven't seen how I make my extracts, you all check out my, I think it's in my food preservation playlist, but what I'll probably do is just end up posting a link to that, okay? Now, let me dry my hands off. I think I'm gonna have to raise y'all up so y'all can see this whole process, and then I'll angle you down. How about that? Oh yeah, there we go. Now we're cooking with fish grease. All right, so here is my entire 6.5 pounds of pitted cherries that I did with a straw. Okay, and I even have some juice from when I first started from the other batch. And I just decided I'm keeping this juice in here because I'm gonna pour that juice in my jars as well, okay? So now you all, what I'm gonna add to this pot right here is because we gotta make our syrup first, okay? Move my cherries to the side. Now I have my water bath canner here. My jars inside have already been sterilized, but they're just sitting in some hot water. My fire is on low on this, and I'm about to make the syrup for this. This is gonna be so super simple, you all, because as you know, it's cherry season, right? And as cherry season comes to a close, we're canning up our cherries. And you can feel free to adjust this recipe. If you don't want to do a syrup at all, you just want to do water and lemon and cherries, you could do that, all right? But this is the way I'm doing it today, okay? So I'm gonna add to my, let me move this, I'm gonna add to my pot my 4 cups of water and my 1 cup of sugar. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to whisk this because I want to dissolve that sugar a little bit. I don't want sugar just sitting at the bottom of this pot. Okay? I'm just whisking. Okay. I'm going to add in my lemon juice. I'm going to add in my cloves and my cinnamon stick. Just put that all in there. And I'm going to add in my 2 teaspoons of my vanilla extract, okay? Smell it. You smell it? Let's get 2 teaspoons of this vanilla in here. All right. Close that back up. Give that another little whisk. All right, you all I'm going to do is get this on the fire. Turn that on a high heat. Okay, now that is on a high heat right now. And all I'm going to do is bring that up to a boil. And once it comes up to a boil, then I'm going to take it off the heat. Okay? Now, these are my cherries sitting here. And this juice, I told you all about the jars. They're already in this pot. They are hot. I am not going to put my cherries in that hot liquid over there. Okay, I'm not. The liquid is going to be hot. My jars are going to be hot, but I am raw packing my cherries. And these bean cherries, I'm going to tell y'all, I'm going to get one that don't look so good. These cherries are so super sweet. I mean, I love them. They're already sweet. So that's why I'm not making a real heavy syrup. They're already sweet. Okay, so what I'm going to do, rinse my hands off, rinse my gloves, and then I'm going to take this glove off right here, you all, and we're just going to wait for this to come up to a boil. Now, there are so many different ways that you can do these cherries. You can raw pack them. you can hot pack them. If you hot pack the cherries, that just means that once this come up to a boil, I would take my cherries and then pour them over into the liquid and allow them to sit in that hot liquid for about 2 to 3 minutes. And then I would take them all back out, and I would add a little bit of liquid to the jars and then come back and fill my jars with the cherries and then finish with the hot liquid. But I don't think that's necessary. I'm not going to do all of that. I'm just going to pack them as they are. Okay, you all? Now, there are several books that you can use. Did I turn that on high? Okay, so there are several books that you can use for canning cherry. There are several ball books, right? You have the Amish canning book. You have so many different canning books out there that you can use as a means or a guide to canning your cherries. Okay, so this is what I'm doing with my cherries. Simple syrups are pretty much the same across the board. Different books may have some different variations, but not by very much. So you just choose the book that you're most comfortable learning with. I know the most simplest book is going to be that little thin ball canning book. It's very, very thin. I think it's like $7 or $8, something like that, at Walmart, if they have it, or you can order it online from Amazon if you like. But just choose yourself a really good canning book. Okay, now I have my water bath canner here, but if you don't have a water bath canner and you have a pressure canner, you can use your pressure canner as your water bath canner. Just make sure you put a rack in the bottom. If you have a really big pot, you can do that as well, but you will need something at the bottom of that pot, because you don't want your jars to be sitting directly on the surface of that pot. Okay, you're going to need something at the bottom to sit your jars on. Okay, so I have, you can even use a steam canner if you like. Someone asked me about my steam canner, and I still have it, but the gauge on top, oh, that water got my foot. Glad it wasn't boiling. Water. Anyway, the gauge on the inside is messed up really, really bad. And I tried to put this lid on there, but it doesn't fit on there tight enough for me to use this lid, because it still has, see that gauge right there? It doesn't do very well on that steam canner. In fact, it started kind of acting up. It wouldn't even move. It started acting up, I want to say, just a few months after I got it and started using it. And I really like that steam canner, and so I was considering just seeing if I could just order a separate piece for the lid, but I haven't looked into it. I just started using my regular water bath canner. Okay, so you all, now I'm gonna see if I can find a good cherry pitter that I could post in our Amazon shop, so that you can decide for yourself if you want to do a large batch of cherries. Then I'm gonna highly recommend you get a cherry pitter of some sort, because you all, that straw method, while it works for, hey, it works fine if you're gonna do just a few, but if you're gonna do a lot of cherries, y'all, I'm telling you, you'll get sick and tired of that straw real quick. Plus, it ain't gonna last that long. That's the third straw I done used. And that's with me cutting the straw in half to use the other ends, right? So that's the third straw. The final straw. A cherry pitter is in my immediate future. Well, I don't think I need it immediately, because I doubt if I'm gonna be doing another batch of cherries, right? I doubt it. I don't make cherry pie, right? So what are we gonna do with these cherries that I'm canning up? I don't make cherry pie at all, because Mr. H nor I like cherry pie. We like cherries, but we don't like cherry pie. Okay, it's like cream cheese for me. I love cream cheese. I love it in my soup. I love it. I love it when I'm making jalapeno bombers and things like that. I love it. But I don't like cheesecake at all. In fact, I can't stand it. It's disgusting to me, right? Strawberry, blueberry, I don't care how you fix it. I do not like cheesecake, even though I love cream cheese. So that's how I feel about cherry pie. Okay, so what am I going to do with these cherries? I don't really even need a whole lot. I figure if I can get away with about maybe 7 or 8 pints of these cherries, that would be great, because primarily what we're going to use them for is probably as a topping in a salad or something in like an ice cream bowl or something like that. We may put a few cherries over some ice cream with some granola, something like that, or in some yogurt or something, but that's pretty much it. We don't use the cherries for desserts, all right? Like in baked desserts, we don't use that, okay? So these cherries will be used just as they are, and they're beautiful cherries too. Look at there, isn't that beautiful? Now, if you decide not to pit your cherries, if you're gonna do this, you all, and you don't want to pit the cherries, you will need to take a toothpick or something, but you're gonna have to poke a couple of holes in this, all right, before you can them, okay? But I'm gonna recommend taking the pits out of your cherries, all right? And you don't want to eat the pits. They could be toxic. So don't think you're just gonna chew on the pits. Don't do that, all right? The pits are not healthy for you to just eat raw like that, okay? So I pit all of the cherries, and this is what I got. And I did weigh these. Came up to be 6.5 pounds, which is exactly what I needed. You know, I think it was like a little bit better than 6.5 pounds, but that's fine. This is exactly what I needed for this batch. And I'm hoping to get about 7 to 8 pints, okay? Now let me go ahead and whisk my mix over here. It's already boiling. Okay, so now that that's boiling, I'm gonna set me a 3-minute timer here. And I'm just gonna let that boil for about 3 minutes, okay? And then afterwards, I'm gonna turn off the heat, and then we're gonna start jarring up our cherries. Now I'm gonna move this bowl to the side here and get my oven mitts. And I'm gonna put my hot jars on the oven mitts here, and that way, when I take them out of the water, they're not touching my countertop. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start taking my jars out now. Sit that there. I got my jar lifter over there, but somebody gave me the tip about using the tongs to take the jars out so that I don't burn myself with the hot water, which is what I would normally do, but I didn't do it that time. I don't always do that, but I'm gonna do it this time because y'all saw what happened to my foot. All right, it's 1. And that's 2. Okay, so I have just under 2 minutes to go. And then I'll be able to go ahead and get my jars in the canner. So if you love canning cherries, how do you can your cherries? My friend from DC, she recently did some maraschino cherries, right? Because she loves maraschino cherries. And I love them too, but I don't buy maraschino cherries out of the grocery store. And if you don't know why, I'm gonna ask you to do your own research on that. Please do your own research on how maraschino cherries are commercially made, okay? And then maybe you'll understand why we choose not to buy maraschino cherries out of the supermarket, okay, you all? All right, so I'm down to 45 seconds. I'm ready to get this show on the road. I'm gonna put my other glove back on If I would not have had gloves on doing all those cherries, y'all, I don't know how long it would have took for me to get my hands back to normal from fooling with all these cherries. I'm gonna set this to the side. Okay, my whisk. Woo, it's boiling good. And that cinnamon stick smells so good in there. All right. That cinnamon stick smells so good. I'm gonna go ahead and turn my fire off. I'm gonna grab my funnel. I can bring y'all in a little bit closer, can't it? Mm-hmm. There we go. Now we talking. Okay. Can y'all see? Yeah, y'all can see. Y'all can see good. At least I hope so. Okay, cool. All right, so now I'm just gonna take my gloves, my hands literally, and just pick these up and put them in a jar. But I'm gonna be gentle with them because I don't want to, you know, squish them. All right, I probably should keep one clean hand. I'm gonna tamp my jar down. Reason being is because you make some more room in there. Now, the thing about this is that you want to leave a 1/2 inch headspace for your liquid, but when it comes to my cherries, I'm only putting them in to the 1 inch headspace mark. That's it. But when I add in my liquid, I'm going to bring that up to a 1/2 inch headspace. Okay? I'm going to tamp that down. If I can get a couple of more in there, I will. And I can. Where's my ladle? I'm always looking for this ladle. All right, so I got to make some adjustments here because I got to bring my pot over. I dropped one. Ooh, that's hot. All right. I'm going to sit this here. Remove the lid. Now, and it's just a basic syrup, you all. That's it. And now I'm going to go ahead and get back to filling my jars. I have my debubbler right here, along with my lids that have been sitting in hot water. Okay? So now I'm going to go ahead and ladle in my hot water. It's not going to hurt anything if you accidentally drop a clove in there, but I don't want to do that. Now you do need to debubble this, you all, because these cherries will trap plenty of air in these jars, and you do not want to run the risk of your jars not properly sealing. Okay? All right, so now move that around a bit. And I'm already at a 1/2 inch head space. Gonna push that back in there like so. Then I always forget my paper towel. All right, so I have my paper towel, and I'm just gonna put this paper towel in my water that I was using to sterilize my jars with. Wring that out, and then I'm gonna go around the rim. Grab me a lid and a band. Oh man, I forgot to put my juice in there, but that's okay. But that's what that looks like. All right. I'm gonna put this down in the water here. Grab my other jar. Maybe I'll just use one hand, okay? To spare this hand, because I'm gonna need this hand. just tamp that down. Grab some more cherries. If you're new to canning, this is probably, this is amongst the easiest items that you can can, okay? Very simple. Very easy to can. Very, very easy, y'all. Okay. Set this to the side. And I don't know if you can see, you probably can't. But the air bubbles, when I move this around, it's a ton of them. And on some of the sides, you can even see the trapped air. Because it like leaves this big giant bubble in the jar. I'm gonna just push that back down in. Bring my liquid level back up to that 1/4 inch head space. That 1/2 inch head space, pardon me. And then I'm gonna get my lid on. No, I'm not. I'm gonna wipe my rim. I'm gonna wipe my rim. Then I'm gonna get my lid on. And then my band. What did I do with all my bands? Get that in the jar, in the hot water. Woo! All right. Grab me another jar. I got a cherry down there on the floor. You don't have to add any lemon juice or anything like that to the jar because we've added some lemon juice to the syrup, okay? And that's all that's required for this simple syrup. Add a few more, and we'll see how many pints we get from this 6.5 pounds. And if I'm not mistaken, I should be getting at least 7 or so. It's a lot of air bubbles. And I just go around the outsides, moving it around, being careful not to destroy my cherries. Okay, my water level, my liquid level did reduce, so I'm going to go back and add more, just a tad. I'm going to come back, and I'm going to need a new towel and wash my hands. Okay, let me flip this paper towel over. All right, here we go. I'm gonna wipe over the rims. Then I'm gonna grab a lid. And a band. And I think I better grab my jar lifter because that water level is rising in my pot. Now you all can see. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Let's get this in the jar, in the pot. Set that to the side. If you all would love to do this recipe, hopefully it's not too late for you to get your hands on some cherries. They have sweet cherries, cherries that are tart. This variety, this Bing cherry, is a very, very, very delicious cherry, but it's also sweet, okay? If you want to do a mix of sweet and tart cherries, you can do that as well. But if you do get your hands on some tart cherries, you may want to do a syrup that's a little heavier, all right? Meaning, when I say heavy, it has more sugar in it, okay? To give that tart cherry some sweetness. But I'm starting with some sweet cherries, so I can do a lighter syrup. All right. I hope I'm not about to run out of syrup. It looked like it. I should have did more syrup for this batch. Oh no. Okay. Bring my liquid level back up. Perfect. Gonna wipe my rims. Grab me a lid. Come on. And a band. And these lids are going on fingertip tight, okay? Don't crank down on that. Fingertip tight. My hands, y'all. See? Fingertip tight. Okay, grab me another jar. I keep saying, tell you what I'm finna do. I'm finna pour this juice in here. Yes, I am. Stir it around, bring it around town. All right. Woo. Now we're gonna add in some more cherries here. I got plenty of juice in this bowl too. See what I'm saying? I got plenty of juice. I'm just wasting juice. All right. Now, let's tamp that down. I could put a couple of more in there. There we go. Ladle in some of this juice. Remove the air pockets. Oh yeah, I need to add some more liquid to that for sure. Okay. Set that to the side. Wipe my rims. I'm gonna have to remove that one cherry because it's sticking up a little bit too high. There we go. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add my lid, my band, and then I'm gonna get this into my canner. See, this is what I normally do. I normally take my little jar lifter and dump my water out like that because it's so convenient. I already have it in my hand, right? Okay. Now I'm down to the bottom here and I got a lot of juice in there. So I'm gonna have to pick this bowl up and get these cherries in the jar so I don't get that cherry juice everywhere. Can you use the juice in the syrup when you heat it up? You sure can. You sure can. All right. Now I'm going to debubble this. a lot of air bubbles. All right, that's wonderful. You want to remove as much of that as you possibly can. Okay. I'm going to take out this cherry right here. I got two too many. Okay. All right. Grab me a band. What I just do with that band? Okay. All right, y'all. And last jar that I have available in this canner. Let's see how this gonna go. We'll see. I think I got enough for probably one more jar. I'm not sure. I probably do. Oh, I dropped another one. No, I don't have enough for a whole nother jar. Let me tamp this down. Add some liquid. Y'all, my hand with the glove on is so nasty. But that's okay, it's a good nasty. All right. Let me go wash my glove, y'all. I can't take it no more. I gotta wash it off. Ooh. Now I feel better. Okay, now let me go ahead and get this jar debubbled here. It's messy, y'all, but it's worth it. Yeah, let's get them air pockets up out of there. All right. All right, I just need to add just a tad. I'm gonna put here. I need to add just a tad bit of liquid, and that's gonna be it. That's it. Gonna wipe my rims now. Clean these babies right on up. Get my lid on here. And my band. Look at that. Can't even see them in there, but that's beautiful, right? Get that last. Oh no, I ain't finna do it that way. I stepped on that cherry. Oh my goodness, I stepped on it. Get that in the canner. I got 7 pint-sized jars in here, and I'm gonna show you. I gotta take my shoe off to show you what was left over. If I could drain some of this juice. I'm not getting rid of my juice, just so y'all know. So these are the cherries that I had left over. I don't want this on my floor. These are a few cherries that I had left over. That's not enough for a pint at all, but what I am going to do is take them and put them inside of a jar with some of that juice and put them in the refrigerator, okay? Oh man, may as well take my shoes off. Okay, now you all, I'm going to go ahead and crank my heat up to high. I'm going to have to come in, oh, that's the wrong lid. Here we go. I'm going to come back and add some more hot water to that, simply because that water needs to cover my jars by at least, you all, come on down. There we go. That water need to cover my jars by at least a 1-inch spacing, okay? It needs to come above my jars by at least 1 inch, all right? So now these cherries right here, like I said, that's good. I can only imagine what these are gonna taste like. You all, I can only imagine what they're gonna taste like. In fact, these cherries right here, I'm gonna put that liquor, the cherry juice, inside of the jar with these babies here, and I'm gonna put these in the refrigerator, and they're gonna be so delicious. I have a jar here. Let's see. Yeah, I do. No, I don't. I thought I had another pint jar, but that is all of my pint jars that I have out. Yeah, that's all of them. So what I'm gonna do is probably just put these in 2 of my little half pint jars, you all. Now I'm gonna process these. I think my processing time is 25 minutes. Let me make sure I got it down here for, oh, wait a minute. Okay, so my processing time on these pints, because I raw packed them, is gonna be 25 minutes. If you do quarts, it's gonna be 25 minutes when you raw pack them. Okay, now if you hot pack them, the times are gonna be different. I wanna say the pints will be 20 minutes and the quarts will be 25, okay? But because these are all raw pack, it's gonna be 25 minutes on the clock for these pints. Let me grab this canning book that I have here, and I'm gonna go back and just make sure, and I'm gonna show you all this canning book that I have right here. Oh, excuse me. If you hot pack them, the pints, if you hot pack, the pints are 15 minutes, the quarts are 20 minutes. If you raw pack, the pints and the quarts are 25 minutes, okay? And I'm looking at this beautiful book right here called So Easy to Preserve, and you can see it's from the Cooperative Extension, the University of Georgia, okay? So this is the book that I'm using, and one of our viewers sent this to me, y'all, and I love this book. It has some beautiful recipes in it. I can't tell you where they got it from, and I didn't research it to see where they could have got it from, but it has the name on it, so I'm pretty sure maybe from the Georgia Extension Office, or maybe you can even find it on Amazon. This was from the University of Georgia in Athens. Athens, Georgia, it looks like. Okay, so if you're interested in this book, you might want to research it and see if you can get your hands on it. But I do like this book, and the cherry recipe is, well, it's not really a recipe, but it's just telling you how to do it. Now I'm not following this one, okay? I added some stuff to mine. I added the cloves and the lemon juice and whatnot to mine, okay? But this is just a basic method for canning cherries, and it also has in it the different syrups. I want to say that's on page 37. And my syrup is a little bit different too, but that's okay. Like I said, they're going to vary from book to book. Let me see. So the simple syrup here, they have a very light, a light, a medium, a heavy, and a very heavy syrup, okay? All right. So now you can choose to follow this or whatever canning book you have. You can get your simple syrups from there. I chose to add some additional ingredients to mine for flavor sake. Okay, you all? So now this is going to process for 25 minutes once my water comes to a boil. I am about to add some more hot water to this. So this is going to process for 25 minutes. Remember, you all, This is the lid here. And the hot water in your water bath needs to come an inch above, at least an inch above the top of this lid, okay? It needs to cover it by at least a full inch or two, okay? And then once this water comes to a rolling boil, that's when I will start my timer, and I will process these for 25 minutes. I have not canned cherries in 3 years. And even when I did can them, I did a simple syrup on those as well. And the only difference is that I didn't add lemon juice and cinnamon and the cinnamon stick and the cloves. You can even use ground cloves if you like. You know, that's fine. But I didn't use it the last time. And I only did like 4 pints, right? And so thinking back to that, I felt like doing it this way, I think I would enjoy them a lot better. Plus those cherries were tart, and I honestly don't want to can tart cherries anymore because I don't want to have to make a syrup that thick with so much sugar, right? So I would just rather start with a sweet cherry, the natural sweetness of the cherry, and then I can go light on the syrup, okay? But that's my choice. Now, if you want to do a tart cherry, I'm going to recommend that you do a medium to heavy syrup if your cherries are tart. If they're sweet, then you can do a very light to light syrup, which is what I did. I kind of did a light syrup or a medium syrup, medium light, right? So you can choose which types of syrups you want over your cherries based upon the cherries that you have. Again, tart cherries, do a heavy to very heavy syrup so that those cherries will taste good, unless you like them tart. All right, so y'all, that's gonna do it for this video. I am gonna post a picture of the finished product once they come out of this canner, okay, you all? And me having the 7367, me having the 7 that I have in here, that's gonna be plenty of cherries for us until cherry season rolls around again next year. Like I said, we only add a couple of cherries maybe to like a fresh fruit salad or a nice little salad. It doesn't have to be a fruit salad. It could be a lettuce and tomato with cucumbers and avocados and granola, all of that. I add a few cherries to that, or some ice cream, you know. That's what we use them for. We do not make cherry cobblers and pies, and I don't like that. Mr. H don't either. So no sense in me canning a bunch of quarts of cherries for something that we are not gonna even do. We like them straight out of the jar, just like I stated. All right, y'all. So this video is almost 50 minutes long on some cherries, right? But that's okay, because so many of you have said you love being in the kitchen with me, and you don't mind the videos being lengthy. You love that. So hey, if you love it, I do too, because I can make a long video. Y'all know I'm long-winded. So y'all, that's gonna do it for this video. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. Get your cherries from Azure Standard, y'all, while they still have them. The Bing cherries, if I'm not mistaken, when I ordered them, were on sale, right? And to me, that was such a great price for this variety of cherries, because they are a sweet cherry, and so they are much more expensive. All right, so if you can get your hands on some Bing cherries from Azure Standard, you can use our link, and I will leave everything, the details, in the description box below. All right, y'all, so thank y'all so much again for watching Homestead Heart. Peace and blessings to each and every one of you. I'm gonna see y'all in the next video.